As an athlete, you should be cocky. You should stand up for yourself and you should look confident. But most athletes are not able to do that because they worry too much about what others think about them.
You can't really give a fuck about what people say no more. Because everybody gonna fucking critique everything that you do, no matter what you do. That shit will creep into your mind, no matter if you believe it or not.
It's wasted energy.
Yeah, it's wasted energy. My first year in Miami, I was down there, like I was literally like, I wanted to prove everybody wrong. And I like literally lost myself in the moment. I lost myself.
Yeah.
And I got all the way to the championship that year and lost.
Most athletes are not able to be cocky because they worry too much about what others think. And besides that, they don't know who they are. So they don't know how to be themselves, how to express themselves all the time. And these are the things that we're gonna cover in this video. The more you know who you are and what you stand for, it's much easier for you to exercise being that person and rely less, care less about what others think about you. And the more control you have over that, the more likely others are going to perceive you as confident, the more likely others will respect you, and the more likely you are to perform better because you feel more confident, you feel like you're being true to yourself. And if you look at the greatest athletes of all sports, they look that way. They look confident, they look cocky, they look even a bit arrogant because they really feel like they are great at what they do. And the more you have control over this, the more likely you are to achieve better things in your career. We can tell that the most confident athletes are the ones who end up performing better and achieving better things. If you don't know me, my name is Gabriel Diana. I'm a mental performance coach and I work with athletes competing at the highest level. And if you do know me, you can notice that I'm in a different location right now. That is because I'm visiting some players and watching some games in Europe. That's part of the one-on-one coaching that I do with athletes competing at the highest level. So let's get into the video. You should be cocky as an athlete. So first of all, the first reason is because if you don't, pretty much you allow the opinion of others to control you. And there's a massive difference when you know who you are and what you stand for and you exercise being that person to when you don't know who you are and you live your life trying to avoid the negative judgment from other people. So here, pretty much, when all the things that control who you are, you know what they are and they are internal, they are coming from the inside, you have more control and that gives you clear steps to measure, clear steps to improve. You know how to get better at that. That is under your control. Instead, when you wonder who you are, you don't know what you stand for. All you do is seeking for the recognition of other people. That is external. You are always looking for the recognition. You are always trying not to disappoint others. You are always trying to get the validation. And the more you live your life like this, the more anxiety and the more stress you're gonna have, because it's as if you're always living your life trying to be careful, trying to avoid somebody not to say something negative about you, and you are always looking for clues of that. What could they be saying? How do they like me? Do the coach believe that I am good enough? You start having those thoughts because pretty much that's how you are training your brain to look for things on the outside. And then instead of you living your life, taking steps to get closer to your goal, to who you want to be, to achieving the things that you want to achieve, you spend a lot of time trying to get away from the negative thing. Instead of moving closer to something, instead of living your life, playing the game of life to win, you are playing the game not to lose, not to disappoint, not to fail, not to look embarrassed. And living your life like that with avoidance, you are always in that mode of stress. You are always in that mode of getting ready to fight or to flight. And the more you do this, the further away you get from being yourself, because what is controlling your actions is not your goals, it's not your values. It is what others might say, because that is the thing that dictates my identity. With that, you will never be cocky. With that, you will never be confident, because you are not the one in control. You have to always avoid the negative things and not create the positive ones. So, with that being said, let's get into it, to the values. How do you create those? How do you exercise them? So before we do that, let's do a quick exercise. Think about Cristiano Ronaldo. Think about LeBron James. Those athletes clearly Their values is not being comfortable, it's not being the nice guy, it is not saying yes to everything, it is not being too nice. Those are clearly not their values. They represent the things that they stand for. And when you know what you stand for, others can tell. And when others tell that, it is because you are truly exercising those things to the best of your potential. So before, the first thing they'll have to do is assigning your values. What would you like to be the representation of? Would you like to represent courage, enjoyment, presence, hard work, discipline, commitment, faith, family, success? What is it that you really care about? The way that will determine how you live your life, the person that you become. So we're gonna do this exercise now. I want you to look at this list at the screen right now, and I want you to think from 3 to 5 values that you would like to represent the person that you become. So that doesn't mean, when you choose those values, doesn't mean that you don't care about the other things. It just means that you have a priority. And the more clear your priority is, the more likely you are to exercise that. Because when it's obvious, those are the things that I'm supposed to do. Check. Did I do it? Did I not do it? Okay. How do I do that more often? How do I get better at doing this? This is the main idea. The more you understand the things that you want to stand for, the more likely you are to do those things consistently. And another thing that you must have in mind, when you're choosing those, it doesn't mean they're saying no to other things. For example, if you choose courage, it doesn't mean they're saying no to hard work, for example. If you're great at exercising your courage, very likely you are going to overcome fear. You are going to exercise your commitment. You are going to exercise your ability to do hard things. So those values are connected. What you must do is to signal to your brain, to show yourself, this is the one that matters most. And the other ones will follow along. Once you do that part of the exercise, so pause this video, choose from 3 to 5 values. After you do that, the second step that you're going to do is to assign the description. What do they represent to you, specifically to you? So courage to me defines putting myself in comfortable situations anytime that growth could happen. Or courage means doing uncomfortable things even when I don't want them. Okay, if those are the definition, if that is the definition, how I exercise those. So here I have these ratings of those values. So for example, if courage to me means number 1, standing up for myself. It means saying no. And it means asking for the ball. Okay, I have 3 ways of exercising my courage. Every day, at the end of the day, I can evaluate, okay, today it was a 6 out of 10. These can get better, but these was very good. The more I do this, the more you are signaling to your brain, this matters. The more time and energy that you spend with something, the more you are showing to your brain, this matters to me. When you're checking your phone all the time, for example, you are signaling to your brain, this matters, this is important. I invest in time and energy, my emotions get attached to it. If I do the same thing, but with my values, I am signaling to my brain, this matters. I want to do more of this. I feel great when I'm doing those things. And the more you do that, the more in control of how you are, who you are, and how cocky, how confident you become. Have this in mind, start exercising. The more you train your brain, the more in control of yourself you become. And the more in control of yourself you become, the better things you can achieve, because essentially you start becoming a better person and a better athlete. And I have a special gift for you. If you watched the video up until this point and you are enjoying that and you want to know more about how you can train your mindset like an elite athlete, there's a link in the description of this video with a masterclass that will show you step by step how you can train your mind to become the most confident player on your team. Just click the link in the description and I'll see you in that video.